E te rau e te rau nau mai, piki mai, kake mai, ki runga I tēnei hōtaka o tātou e ki ana ko te ata hihiko. Nei rā ngā rauru, nei rā te pakakoi e tukumi I atu kia koutou katoa. Nō reira, nau mai. He kaupapa nui kei te haere I tēnei wiki e hoa mā I te taite me te paraire hoki o tēnei wiki e hoa mā. I will be at the Puanga Festival for 2022 e te iwi. It is the 18th year for the Puanga Festival, the 18th annual Taranaki Puanga Festival 2022 at the Waitara Memorial Hall this Thursday, e hoa mā, the 10th and the 11th of November. So we have got a special guest on today's show, a man of many talents, e te iwi. And I'm pretty sure he needs no introduction at all. So let's welcome to the breakfast show this morning, Matua Clive, e te iwi. Nō reira, morena, uncle?
Morena e hoa, pai ki te rongo tō reo.
Ai, kia ora.
Pai ki te roa ki mo I a koe.
Wakamarama mai, ko ai koe no I a koe hea o mahi e pāna ki te tēnei festival.
E tēnā koe hoa. Ko Clive Tonga-Awhikau tuku ingoa, aka Matua Clive, kei ko nei au. E kōrero, no Taranaki ahau, engari rā, e tupu mai ahau kei roto I Tāmaki Makaurau, a Taiaroa wā, en ka hara mai au ki te tau eke maunga in 1998, ka timata he hikoi hau. I runga tēnā wakaro, tēnei ahau. En ka hara mai au ki te mātakitaki, ki te kohi nā mātauranga, ngā taongo ngā mātua tūpuna I tuku hio ki a tātou nei. So, I runga tēnā, kei konei ahau.
Ki te kimi. No mai. Now, first of all, before we talk about the Puanga Festival, I actually wanted to congratulate you on your new mahi me te kaunihira o Stratford District Council ne. Kōrero mai, heaha o Wakaro e pāna ki tēnei tūranga hau, heaha o Pukenga mō tēnei tūranga hau hoki.
Hi kāka te ngākau. Ko the job description there is very simple to have a Māori view. And so that's me in a nutshell. So I'm loving that. The other thing I'm loving is that, my tupuna is from there. I have deep-seated tupuna that's there. Actual fact, my tupuna owned Whakahurangi town. And then we were pushed into the swamp. And so where contact energy is, that's where we were pushed in. And then they wheeled and deal with Ngāti Rua and Ngāti Maru, and then they bought that area there too, but we still have a bit of land over there. I know it's been horrid for Arukuku, and also Ahitahi, that's that's our sort of like we're the Matua Hapua from around the area there, but it was Arukuku that sort of resided around the area there. But we got quite, if you look at us, we almost look like an iwi. But I'm excited about that whole area because I teach in many schools around Taranaki, and I've been around and I've seen a lot. And hence the reason we sort of created this festival was to encourage the use of the language and the culture and, breaking down barriers. And, I find that really, really crucial in today's age. It's all a part of chiseling away and letting other cultures share what we have. When I grew up, it was sort of, I guess, jealously guarded, if I can say that, our tupuna didn't want to let anything else out because every time they did, you lose a bit of land or you lose something, and people use it in the wrong way. It's like the treaty, if you use it, if you want to use it for bad things, you'll find bad things to use it for. If you want to use it for good things, you'll find good things to use it for. But that's exactly like the council too. My experience in that at the moment is it's been really great. I've been really, content. Hikaka te ngākau, and so, we went in there with a full-blown pōwhiri, and they hadn't experienced that before, and it's just something natural for me. But then, because I teach in schools, a lot of schools showed up, and that's what happens when you learn things. You show up because your heart takes you there. It's not something you have to force. And, you know, I know, you know, with some people in the council, they'll have very strong views about having Māori things happening there, like karakia, karanga, you know, mihi, you know, and I know that they will be challenged with that, but the good thing about it is, you know, all open-minded there, you know, and I love the honesty, and I'm really looking forward to making a difference there and having my Māori voice put on the table. And the good thing about it too is that, you know, I'm talking with iwi, I'm talking with hapu, I'm talking with all the marae of that area. And so really the book hasn't been written for my position. So I've been really inclusive and asking, you know, what does that book look like and where do we begin? Because I can take myself in there and I fit right in with the council way of doing things and all the policies and procedures and other kaupapa like that. But, you know, to really have a Māori voice, you also need to have a collaboration of thought. And so that's my role within that environment. I see that as being very instrumental within that environment of whakahurangi. But you see, when you sign up, the only people that for the Māori ward, the only people that can vote for you are the ones that are on the Māori roll. And I personally think that's a big mistake, because that's not a fair reflection of what whakahurangi you want. You know, you can be a Māori, you know, a person on selected to be on the Māori ward. But, you know, if you want true buy-in from the community, and if you want community to have a voice towards you, because the way I see it, and I don't mean any disrespect, I got put on there by people that voted for me on a Māori seat. Well, I went through unopposed, to be honest. But if it was a race, it would mean the 200 or 300 odd people that are on the Māori roll in that area would have been the only ones that I have to worry about. You know what I'm saying?
The good thing about when the campaign and everything was happening for the Māori wards in particular was, you know, I was saying on the radio every morning, the main thing e te iwi is that we've got Māori bums on any one of these seats. Doesn't matter if it's a general ward or if it's a Māori ward, so long as we've got Māori people in these positions, then we can make influence. And hopefully, you know, you've been in the Waka-Urangi area now, we could see other festivals like the Puanga Festival that's been held for 18 years, 18 annual Taranaki Puanga festivals around the motu. So talking about our kaupapa today with the Puanga Festival, have you been involved with the festival for its whole entirety?
Oh, well, I actually, the founder of it, I created it. And so it started a few years prior to that. I was working up at Rangiatia, and I was tutoring Māori performing arts tauiwi. And I found a need for the students to go out into the schools and work and share their knowledge. And so it sort of took it from there. And then I realised that, you know, although we had other kaupapa such as tatarakehi and pairangatahi, and we also had manu ariki, you know. The biggest thing is we go away and, you know, it's a big mahi, you know, and it's a big mahi. And so my thought was, how do we develop the rest of the mutu into that sort of scene? And so I'm just like, you know, I'm not putting it down, but I'm just saying that Puanga is a stepping stone for those that, you know, they haven't gone through kura kaupapa or kohanga, or haven't got that background, you know, haven't been on the marae. And so this is a good insight to who we are and where we are. Just like the name Puanga, you know, people challenge me, why do you have it in the middle of, you know, November, you know, October rather? As a general rule, the weekend after Labour weekend, during that week there, that's when we have it. And I just said, well, because when I arrived here in 98, people were talking about matariki. There was only a handful of us that were talking Puanga. So all the resources in the school were talking matariki this, matariki that. But we don't see that, as you know. So we were sort of, for me, we were losing our identity of who we really were. And I went to our nationals, and I'd seen people laughing at the way that some of us did our takahi, you know, our taranaki sway and things, you know. And I thought, hikama, you know, because I was standing on the stage when that happened. And But that's uniquely us. And I'm really proud of who we are and where we've come from. And I want everybody here to feel proud, so they never feel like they have to worry about whether they're doing it right or wrong, because they know, because they've been taught from school. You know, if you want something done, you start from the kohanga and then you move through like a tsunami, right? And that's the concept, is that, well, if you want them to learn stuff and maintain it and retain it and be able to teach it to them at a young age, because that's where all the influences is. Because, you know, the little kids will say to Nene and Papa or Mum and Dad, hey, I want to go to Puanga, or hey, I want to learn this song, and that, regardless whether they like it or not, it's our tamariki that are going to break down those barriers, because our love for our tamariki is just beyond belief, you know. And so hence the reason the festival was created, was to encourage our culture and our well-being, you know. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, you know, for the Taranaki Tūmai Festival, which we've just had, you know, Tātaraki, you know, the Parihaka Day and everything that happens throughout the Māori calendar, I think that anything more that we can add to this is just going to empower Māori and encourage non-Māori to take up, you know, Māori sport, or, you know, to join in with kaupapa Māori. And you can definitely see throughout the many years that the Puanga Festival has been running, the different amount of cultures that have partaken in the festival over its entirety. So just talk to us briefly about, you know, what's happening, when is it, what's happening, how do people get involved, and where do we go?
Oh, kapai. So the festival this year has been held at the Waitara Memorial in Waitara on Memorial Place. The pōwhiri is on Thursday morning, which is the 10th, this Thursday coming. And that's where you can bring your taonga through, or your manuhiri, your waiwai tapu, e rātu, you know, or just be a part of the festival. And so that starts at 8, and then we put our first group on at 9 o'clock sharp. You know, we're pretty good with the time. So if you wanna see your tamariki mokopuna whānau perform, get there early, because the doors close. So if your whānau are on at 9 o'clock, you make sure you're there 8:45 so that you can get through the doors, because the doors close before they stand. And we're pretty punctual with that. So and that's day one. Most of that day is based around all our whakangahu rōpū, and then the whakataitai are on the Friday, and again that starts at 9 o'clock. There should be on our website, etc. There should be information if you wanted it, but you know, you just Google Matua Clive and you can ask me all the questions you want.
There's a Facebook page that people can also see.
Yeah, true. Yep, that's right. The Taranaki Puanga Festival page. Yep, awesome. That's pretty simple. Yeah, Taranaki Puanga Festival, exactly what it's called. You know, look for the 2022, I guess. That's the current one. There's other ones up there, but that's our main page, Taranaki Puanga Festival. So as a general rule, we normally have all sorts of other events going, but this year we just planned we didn't care whether it was whakataitai or comps. We would have preferred that it was just non-comps, you know, whakangahu. But yeah, other people want to carry on and stay the course, so that's fine with us too. So otherwise, it was just about getting back to the rhythm again, because last year, you know, was our sort of attempt. We had it in the school. We went to each school and videoed them and put them up on a page, you know. And then the year before that, we brought them all together. We had about 1,800 people standing on the floor doing kapahaka mass program, mass items, you know. Yes. This year, before the COVID, we had 65 groups that were coming. So we had to it imploded again, and we were running it over a three-day event instead of 2. But, you know, we have every confidence that it will get back that way. And, you know, I've always said, sort of since day one, this thing should be a week kaupapa, you know, because it's all about celebrating who we are on a different level than Taranaki Tūmai, different level than Tataraki. We, you know, like you said, everything has its value and everything has its place. We're all working hard to attain what we can, you know. So I see this as a stepping stone to go to Tatarakihi and Pairangatahi, and then making some of our people, because, you know, some of our people don't care about our Māori stuff, you know. So this is another way of actually, you know, encouraging them to come and have a look and have a try, and then go back to the hapu or their marae and start performing and start doing things that they need to do, you know. So this is the hope, you know. But also to
Karo
open,
rangatira, rawa
no,
tira. Korero mai he utu mo te marea?
he kore te utu, e mama, e ara te kore, he gold coin, hey, you know. So mama noi ho, kia koe te tikanga, you want to put $1 million in the jar, kia koutou. You want to put $1, kia koutou anō.
Kia ora,
But it
kia
all
ora.
helps.
So,
Sorry, just saying it all helps. It all goes to the Puanga Festival. All the money and all the resourcing that we get, it goes to the Puanga Festival. There's nobody here that gets paid. We get in specialists that we need, you know, and we do need staging, you know, just to make, because we could have it on the floor or on a mud paddock. That's okay. But, you know, I quite like putting it up there so our people, our tamariki, our mokopuna get up and they feel elevated and they feel good. You know, and it's a good place for them to start being brave and things like that, you know. Plus, you know, it also helps other small businesses in and around Taranaki come together on something positive where they can, you know, where we can utilize them for their strength. I mean, geez, Te Korimako's been there since day one, you know. TSH has been there since day one. You know, Māori Wardens have been there since day one. We've had people been there since day one. We've had our funders that have been there. You know, lotteries have been there since day one. Te Puni Kōkiri. We've had the council, you know, CC. We've had all these people that have been there since day dot. Cogs. Better not forget anybody now. I've started, you know, it used to be TSB. But now it's Toy, you know. Toy's been, we've got money off Toy, if you like, you know, and also TET. There are other, up until this year, Methanex has always been there to support us since day one. This year they have other things going on and, you know, COVID and such like that, so they've changed tack. But, you know, I'll be tapping on their door again pretty soon, you know, to see if I can, because, you know, this kaupapa is a great kaupapa, and it's a very unifying kaupapa, and that's what it's about. And, you know, like it's a little bit different than other kaupapa because we only have 4 items that we have to worry about. And one is the waiata tira, then we have the poi, then we have the waiataringa and the haka. And the reason we do that is, like I said, in preparation to going whakataitai somewhere else, you know, we have to meet all those other criteria. We feel that all those items there, you should be able to use that to create a program. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's haka, singing, poi, you know, rako, you know, it's all in there. So you can, you know, complement it that way. And it's a lot easier and friendly. I think it's a little bit more user friendly if that's the right terminology, where people can, you know, don't have to work as hard, don't have to have as many wānanga, you know, to create 7 items and mihi and karanga and so on. We have 4 items. And they can be, look, I encourage you to write your own waiata and things like that. But, you know, if you want to use any common waiata that everybody knows, power to you. You know, it's just getting up and using our reo, trying our culture, having a taste, eh?
I know it's going to be an absolutely fantastic day, and I mean, 18 years in the running. I really take my hat off to yourself and all the committee whakaaere throughout all those years. I bet there'd be people that aren't even here that were at the start and, you know, always, you know, champion the Puanga Festival. I myself have said on the radio yesterday morning about being a judge, excuse me, for the talent show and doing a little bit of MC work for there. And I know that this kaupapa means a lot to a lot of people from around our maunga. And many of even our Pākehā tamariki will remember their first ever time standing on that Puanga stage. So we can look forward to quite a few things happening over the next couple of days at Te Iwi from Thursday the 10th and the 11th of November. The pōwhiri is at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. as Uncle's mentioned, the pōwhiri there. Make sure that you get to that part. You know, that's a vital part of our Māori process that our tamariki, I believe, should take part of or at least experience, and their matua as well. And then, of course, kicking off the show from 9 o'clock on Thursday, as well as Friday. Just bearing in mind, well, I know get in there early, as Uncle mentioned, because the doors do close before every performance. And that is so that the attention isn't taken away from your babies. Now, if you need to get in there, you might be able to persuade the kuia at the door to let you in. But the encouragement here is for you to get in there early, because a lot of them actually don't care, because there's every other baby on the stage at the same time, and it's about them. And if you miss it, wow, ka aroha, you'll have to tune into the Te Korimako live feed from outside Ete Iwi, which is what we will be doing. As Uncle's mentioned, there's been many businesses as well as Te Korimako that have supported the kaupapa throughout the 18 years that this festival has been running. So we will be coming to you live on air, as well as live. Oh, we'll be there actually, live on air on Thursday, and we'll also have those Facebook live streams for you as well. It's iwi. There are stores that I know are available. Te Arakamu is having a marching, is having a hangi on both days, which you can also pre-order. But there are going to be plenty of stores there. I hope and think, from what I've read, that there's going to be no profit making. It's all mainly fundraising activities happening. So cash is king. It's iwi. Take your cash, take your love. And don't forget, just because it says a gold coin entry, you can flick a young greenie in there if you like to support the kaupapa for your babies to perform at the Puanga Festival in the coming years. So, Uncle, is there any words of encouragement that you'd like to give before we wrap this up for today?
No, look, it's exactly what you said. Just come and enjoy yourself. Come and be a part of the kaupapa, part of the synergy, and just, share the love, feel the love, because that's what this kaupapa is all about. This, every year we put it on for you and your tamariki. So hara mai, come and make a difference. Hey, kia ora.
No reira. Kia koe Matua Clive, thank you very much for joining us here on Te Ata-Hihiko. It's been a pleasure. I'm really looking forward to getting up there on Thursday and coming to our people live on the airwaves, and as well as that broadcasting to you here at Te Korimako o Taranaki on our Facebook. You can just read that at the bottom there, our Te Korimako o Taranaki Facebook live. Wonderful service that we provide here at Te Korimako. But to you, Uncle, and to your team, thank you very much for joining us on the mea nei, on the hōtaka o Te Ata-Hihiko, and all the best in your new tūranga hou, and we'll look forward to the festival Te Taite, me te parahi hoki.
Tēnā koe ho, tēnā koe tau, tēnā tātai.
Kia ora. There it is, Ete Iwi, Uncle Clive, Matua Clive. Many of you will know who he is, but yeah, thanks to Uncle once again for joining us here on Te Ata-Hihiko. It's been a pleasure to share this information with you. 10th and the 11th of November, Ete Iwi. Get there early, gold coin entry. Don't forget flipping a young red one or a green one or a blue one if you feel like it, Ete Iwi. But that's me for today. That's our interview. Thank you once again. All the best to all the groups competing over the next couple of days as well. And we'll see you back here bright-eyed in Bushy Tail tomorrow at 7 a.m. Wow, soon. I'll be back soon. Kia ora.